everybody, and welcome back to the Come Play podcast. On this episode, we are at episode 11, and we have a special edition this week. We're not doing our regular podcast. We're going to yell at each other for 2
Bless you.
hours. Bless you. What happened? What did I do? Anyway, we're going to yell at each other for 2 hours because we have a special edition of the show. It's called the Hot Take Edition. Basically, I had this idea as a big topic we were going to talk about, but the sports news this week was absolutely awful. So here we are. We have expanded it into a whole episode. What we've done is we've all gotten 3 hot takes from either. I mean, it's really anything, but like mine, I try to limit to sports, video games, and pop culture. And we are going to discuss them. I'm sure disagree. And yeah, so we basically just got what we thought was hot takes, and here we are, and we're going to discuss them. Then we will have our week 8 NFL predictions at the end of the podcast. But I will introduce the guys because we are all finally here and able to do this. We got Bobby, Brendy, and Zach.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's good.
And yeah, and we're finally all here together.
Except for Brendy, because he didn't fucking say anything.
Because Tyler didn't tell me to say anything. He wasn't like, say what's up, guys.
Because I knew that was coming. By the way, Zach took that role last week.
Oh,
He did
okay.
that, and I almost punched him in the fucking.
I mean, he also ended the episode the same way you do.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Anyway, we're gonna continue here. So what's gonna happen is Bobby has random.org loaded, and he's gonna do the random order, and then we'll go in that order to see who goes first and whatnot. So Bobby, go ahead and do your thing. I don't know if you're gonna do it 3 times or just once or whatever, but.
So I'll do it with each hot take because it will generate a new number each time.
Okay.
So that being said, Brendy, you are 1. Zach, you are 2. I am 3. Tyler is 4, and we're gonna go with generates. And of course, it's me because why wouldn't it? All right, hold on. All right, so everybody. Okay, so this one is football related.
Okay.
I've said this for a little while now. I may get a little bit of heat. We'll see. I don't think that the QB head hits are dirty hits.
Explain.
Okay.
So are we talking about in pocket hits or like out of pocket hits?
Out of pocket hits.
Okay.
I'm talking out of pocket hits. So the hits I'm kind of referring to are the hits when they're sliding.
Okay.
So all right. So here's my thoughts. All right. I do understand that when the QB's sliding, right, the player in theory is supposed to back off, right? That player is also not supposed to lower his shoulder. And I get that part of it, and that part I'm not going to disagree with. I don't know why they lower their shoulder most of the time. I think they're just trying to get some sort of contact on him before they start sliding, and they end up just following through. But calling them dirty hits, I think, is a little bit of a stretch. I don't think their dirty hits is like that's like he's trying to throw that hit at his head. He's just trying to stop the guy, and he's going off instinct, right? So the hit I was referring to the most was the who was it? Alonzo on Flacco? Is that who it was?
Yeah, Kiko Alonso, yeah.
Yeah, it was Kiko Alonso and Flacco. So that hit especially, they were calling it dirty hit, and even Harbaugh came out with yelling in his face about it. Like, he was already going for the hit before Flacco even began to slide. And he just ended up making contact with his head. And, that caused everyone to go, oh, it's a dirty hit. Dirty hit, dirty hit, dirty hit. I've seen dirty hits. I don't think that's it. Like, I legitimately think that was actually one of the lesser ones. I understand the NFL's moves to try and protect players from concussions and CTE stuff. I'm completely for it, too. I think calling them dirty hits and asking for the head of the player most of the time is a bit stretching it, at least in my opinion. Thoughts?
So, my initial thing is, like, when a quarterback slides, they're giving themselves up. Like, they're stopping the play. So, if you hit somebody, so I get what you're saying in terms of, like, if a guy is already going to hit somebody that's sliding, but if you knowingly hits a quarterback that's going down, like, it's a dirty play in my opinion, just because you're giving yourself he's giving himself up. If you if you're going for a hit and you can't stop your momentum as he's going down, that's one thing. Like that's fine. But say he slides and then you hit him before you even go down, yeah, that's a dirty hit. I think it's again he's giving up on the play. He's trying to end the play. If you hit somebody, it's not unknowingly because he's gonna see you come hit him most likely. But yeah, if your momentum is not going toward him as he's sliding and you just hit him, I think it's kind of dirty. Also, just it, I mean, it's such a flag in the NFL now for obvious reasons with the whole concussion, thing that's kind of going on with the NFL. And I don't know. Like I said, I think if you knowingly hit a quarterback that's going down, it's a dirty hit. I'm trying to remember that Kiko Alonso one in particular because I remember Flacco lost his helmet, or I think, right?
Yeah, Flacco lost his helmet and had to leave the game for concussion protocol. I don't remember or not if he ended up getting one from that.
I don't know either, but I remember his reaction. He just looked out of it, so I'm sure he did. But yeah,
well, I mean, yeah, that hit's gonna ring your bell every time. I mean, I'm not saying that.
That's true.
And this is also this part's on broadcast criticism. Why do they look at that hit in slow motion? Well, that is so not unrepresentative on what the hit actually looked like. Like that, he was not slowed down when he went to go hit him. Trust me.
But that's the same thing for any replay. Especially in I'll give you a perfect example. The other night, I was watching the Sharks Predators game, and there was a phantom high stick call that they called, and in full time, I'm pretty sure it looked like it got high stick, but when you slow it down so it's barely moving, yeah, it's easy to see that it wasn't a high stick. But yeah, just any replay, it's like that. It's just when you slow it down like that.
Right, but so in that instance, they're looking to see if the stick actually made contact with a player. What I'm referring to is it's obvious he hit him because Teddy Bridgewater is sitting there on the field knocked out, but it's oh yeah, he started to slide right there. Okay, but that's not in real time. In real time, that was like a fraction of a second. When you're watching it in slow-mo, it's 10 seconds. Right. I don't think that's representative on whether or not he went for him when the slide went down or not. It really isn't, at least in my opinion anyway. I want to say, the NFL has been making a move to protect players from concussions and head injuries and stuff like that, and I applaud them for it. I just don't. Some of these hits sometimes it's how do you even? You can't stop. You are a high, velocity athlete playing this violent sport, right? And you kind of go off instinct to go after somebody, get them on the ground, and make sure they're down, right? So if you start to go and then all of a sudden Joe Flacco decides to slide, right? You can't stop. You're already gonna hit him. I think just calling the dirty hit is not the right way to do it. I will acknowledge and say that defensive players especially should work on. I mean, the lower the shoulder thing. I mean, they're trying to stop across the league. So maybe that's just the main reason because that's how most of the hits end up happening is that they slide and the shoulder goes down and hit. And I'll say that's what they need to stop. But they're just trying to get the quarterback down. They're just trying to. They're acting on a kind of pure instinct to make sure they're down on the field. They're not trying to go for their head. They're not headhunting. Right. That's just the way I see that. That's just me.
I don't know. Brian, do you have anything to add to this claim?
So I mean, it wouldn't be a hot take if someone disagreed, right? Or if we all agreed, right? So
no, I'm disagreeing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one, Bobby.
Okay.
Just specifically for the fact that I get what you're saying so I'm gonna take it back to what you're saying, quarterbacks out of the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how a defensive end is supposed to go for a quarterback and not at least make some at least slightly helmet to helmet contact.
Right.
that's all fine and dandy, and like that's but at the same time, it seems like that the evolution of hitting has almost evolved to the point where you cannot make a tackle unless you lower your shoulder.
Right.
Which obviously hasn't really been too much of a problem in the past. Because like, you never heard about, a dirty helmet to helmet hit, back in, late 90s, early 2000s, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it's a really good thing that the NFL has been taking these a lot more seriously. And I do think hits like that are dirty because it's completely changing the way the game is played, and it's causing teams to change up their game plan if their quarterback just gets completely fucked, which is, in my opinion, really bad for the league. And I disagree with a lot of things that the league does, but I think they're kind of in the right on this one. Kind of labeling these hits as dirty because they're causing significant injury to the players, and they have to learn how to tackle differently.
Sure, and maybe I'm not defending the hit. I'm not trying to tell everybody, okay, yeah, if the QB slides, go for his head. I'm simply defending the label that these players get when those types of hits happen. I don't think they're trying to headhunt. I don't think they're trying to hurt the player. They're just trying to make sure the damn player's down. And it just so happened to be a weird angle. If you watch some of these hits, right? Like I just rewatched the Teddy Bridgewater one. Like, yeah, that one was a little late, just a little bit. But it was such a weird angle too, because he slid and the defensive player was like kind of going the other direction and they kind of collided. It was weird. It's weird looking. Like, and Bridgewater got knocked out cold from the head. And yeah, that's the stuff, they do need to pay attention to that stuff. They do need to fix the stuff. I'm glad they are. I just don't like the dirty hit label that's on it. Because I don't think it's a headhunting thing.
I mean, I agree it's not a headhunting thing, but I still think it's a dirty hit.
You're right. You're right about the intentions, Bobby. That it wasn't intended to be a dirty hit, but it's still a dirty hit.
I don't know.
They have to have a zero tolerance policy on it now because it's been going on too long.
They kind of do.
Not too long ago, a fucking concussion was treated about the same as a Charlie horse.
Yeah,
it's really crazy, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, I'll preface with saying I never played the sport, right? In any capacity, but it to me just as a regular viewer, right? The thing is like, oh, he should have stopped when he tried to give himself up. I'm like, well, you can watch that in slow mo all you want. He was already going for him before he even began his slide. Just so happened to hit his head. And then maybe at that point, right, that's when it's like you tell defensive players, okay, yeah, don't even lower your shoulder anymore. Just go for the bear hug and call it a day.
A lot of times though, like with these slides, like it's kind of obvious when the quarterback's about to slide, though. In my opinion,
I don't know.
Joe Flacco thing, he was definitely about to slide.
I guess so, in a sense that like almost every quarterback will. Like, I mean, most players will know that the quarterback's gonna slide or go out of bounds at some point. No one tries to be like all running back and push through it all. I don't know, man. But I would want to make, especially I think Flacco, they were in the red zone, weren't they? Like at that point, like I wouldn't be worrying about the slide. I'm just making sure they're not getting in the end zone. So if I have to make sure he's down, then I'm gonna make sure he's down. You know what I mean? That's just me. Listen, I'm not advocating for head hits. I'm just saying that the stigma around these type of hits are a little strange to me. That's all.
All right. Well, we'll agree to disagree then.
Yep.
And who is next on the list?
Let's see. We're gonna generate a new number. Wow, it's really thinking about this one. It is really thinking about it. Okay. Hold on a second. It is still thinking about it. Tyler.
All right. So I'm gonna say this already.
I just want to preface by saying that Tyler's been hyping up this since we first got on today.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have the steamiest takes here. I'm already prepared to get yelled at,
This asshole.
screamed at, spit on. No, I'm kidding.
Spit on. All right. Well,
I'll
I
wait
mean, if that's
until
what you're
I'm-
into,
I'll
I
wait until I'm
guess.
in Jersey for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, my first one, also from the NFL. Bobby, this is gonna be close to your heart. Well,
right.
sort of.
Oh,
It has to do with Tom Brady, but not
Oh,
necessarily
boy.
him.
Okay.
It has to do with my boy Aaron Rodgers. And
Oh.
my take
Alright.
is
Oh God.
if I'm trying to see how to word this because this is what I'm having trouble with. But
Write it down.
basically what I'm trying to say is I think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the game over the last, I would say, 5 to 7 years.
Wow.
Tyler, you're
Okay.
a fucking idiot.
So now you have to take this with a grain of salt because now Aaron Rodgers did miss some games over the last few years. However, his stats are literally insane and they back it up. And now I know the first thing you guys are gonna say is, well, look how many Super Bowl Brady has. Look at the fucking team that Aaron Rodgers plays on.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, if you want to talk about stats, why'd you not say Drew Brees instead of Aaron Rodgers?
because Drew Brees has the accolades over his career. Aaron Rodgers is, in my opinion, the most talented quarterback in the NFL. Hands down. The things that he can do, throwing on the run, throwing off his back foot, just the precision. I think that's how I should have worded it actually. I think Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback in the league it's not even close by far.
He hasn't even been the league leader in passer rating since 2012.
But okay. However, didn't we?
Just ignoring that blatant fact, moving
No,
on.
because I'm trying to think what I should have brought it up again because when we talked about this, we talked about Aaron Rodgers weeks ago, and the first thing we brought up was how he has the best quarterback rating of all time by 2 or 3 points. Like it's not even like his quarterback rating is like 103. The next person is 99, like 100 or 99 or something like
Well,
that.
it's pretty easy when the dude he just left his prime. Like eventually, the stats are gonna go back down, and he's gonna
But
he's still gonna be top tier, but it's he's not gonna be number one.
look at his
Wow,
stats from the
confirm.
last few years. This year already, he almost has 2,000 yards, and this is only in 6 games as this is recorded because this doesn't have the 7th. Oh, they're on a bye, that's why. So it only has been 6 games. So 12 touchdowns, 1 interception, almost 2,000 yards. In the 2017 season, he was out with injury, so I'm not even going to count that. In the 2016 season, 40 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 4,428 yards. His touchdown interception ratio throughout his career is literally insane. It's probably up there as
Dude.
one of the best as well.
By the way, according to Pro Football Reference, yes, Aaron Rodgers is the top of the passer rating with a rate of 103.6. Second is actually Russell Wilson with 99.1.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was like either 3 or 4 points. But you know what? That's another topic for another day. I think Russell Wilson's underrated, but again, another topic.
Oh, he's very underrated. He's very underrated. As a Russell Wilson fantasy owner for the past 2 years, he is very underrated.
So Tyler, you're saying Aaron Rodgers has almost 2,000 passing yards, right?
As of right now in the season, he has 1997.
Yeah, you know there's 8 or 9 other players that are higher than him on that list, right?
I'm just saying, as of 6 games,
You
he
know
already
who's
has
number 1?
2,000.
Matt Ryan.
Well, because Matt Ryan plays from behind all game. That's why his fucking defense
Matty
was
Ice
donkey
is
dick.
insane.
That's why.
Fucking
But,
is. I agree
all
with
right.
you on that one.
So let's say this: put Aaron Rodgers on the New England Patriots for the past 7 seasons. How many Super Bowls do you think he gets?
Oh God, the equivalent or more.
Probably one less than Brady.
I don't know. I mean, so here's the thing. My whole thing with Rodgers is he should have Okay, well, actually, before I say it, let me put this to you. If Rodgers had 2 more Super Bowls, so put him at 3, where does he rank in your all-time rankings?
He would be about the same because he's only won 1 Super Bowl.
I just said if he had 3, you fucking dickhead. That was the point of it.
I told you like he would be about the same for me.
You're
Aaron
insane.
Rodgers, like for right now for me, like he's probably like 2 or 3 for me, but he's not the best.
Dude, honestly, I'd still put him behind Brady and Breeze.
Yeah,
I mean,
he had 2 more Super Bowls.
it's like it's kind of a very tight race between Breeze and Rodgers for me, but Brady's still number 1 in my book.
How many times has Rodgers seen the playoffs?
I don't.
Look
So
that up.
2011 is when they won.
yeah,
Right.
Like
the
how
Patriots do.
I remember that because they destroyed the Falcons.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Let's see.
So so here's the thing. I'll agree with Tyler. Like I don't want to. I never like rating a player by championships.
Yeah.
There are good players that never get to see the playoffs for their respective sport.
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers. But even going outside of that, right? Going into the hockey sense, I've always thought Ovechkin was a hell of a better player than Crosby was, which is a hot take in itself. And he just won his first ring. And Crosby has what, 4?
3.
3? Okay.
But yeah. Yeah, that's actually like a kind of a good analysis because Alexander Ovechkin's maybe the best pure goal scorer of all time in the NHL.
Right.
Well,
And
I
he
will say
just
that
got
you
his first
can't.
ring.
Obviously, you can't win the game like by just having a good quarterback. You know, it
Right.
depends on your teammates and your
which
coaches,
is kind
and
of
your
my
defense, like etc. Like there's so many things that factor into it.
So that's
All right.
that's my point. So
just
go ahead,
really
Brendy.
quick, I don't
Yeah.
mean to intrude, but just a quick stat. So Aaron Rodgers has made the playoffs from 2009 through 2016.
Okay.
He missed 2017, obviously, and then
that's
we'll
when
see
he
how
broke
this
his
season
collar.
goes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when he broke his collarbone.
So,
Right.
how did he do in those playoffs? Like, I obviously in 2011, I'm sure he was a beast.
So, 2009 wild card loss,
Right.
2010 Super Bowl win, 2011 wild card loss, 2012 divisional loss, 2013 wild card loss, 2014 and 2015 division loss, and 2016 NFC Championship loss.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
he's only been to the NFC Championship twice in his career.
Now, let me bring on my next point, which is the biggest. Honestly, this is the biggest thing for me. The defenses he's had behind him are fucking awful. Literally, when you think of the Packers, you think of a team that is high scoring because they have Aaron Rodgers, but they might score 30 points a game, but they might give up fucking 34 because that's how bad their defense is. In 2017, so this is last year, their defense ranked 12th worst. So they're about middle of the pack for points allowed. In 2016, let's see, go into that. They were even worse than that. They were 9th. So
quick apologies. He's made the NFC Championship 3 times.
Okay.
In 2014 when he went against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Just I think again the thing for me that really sets him, because again Brady has the talent around him, and now yeah, I say that, and some of the receivers he's had over the years, yes, have not been the greatest. But I mean, look, he has Julian Edelman now, and Gronk is, probably the best tight end in football, as of the past 2 seasons.
Kelsey fans would have something to say to you.
I mean, yeah, it's 1A, 1B there. Like it's very close. But either way, they've had pretty decent defense over the years. Not the best or ever. But the thing with Brady too is he's also playing under the best coach of all time. And I'm not taking anything away from Mike McCarthy for the Packers, but I mean, just Brady obviously is, uh, he didn't do this on his own, but he has a lot of help in terms of coaching. His team is a lot better than Rodgers. Like I said, if their defense was even the Packers' defense was even average, like the Packers would be just a more prominent team. It's just their defense is literally so bad that this is the problem. But I just think off of pure skill, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think it's like off of pure talent, what he can do on the field. I don't think it's arguable. I think Aaron Rodgers is clearly the best. Like what he can do, the throws he makes. Like the one I'm thinking of right off the top of my head was it last year's playoffs or the year before? They were playing Dallas it was 2 years ago. They were playing Dallas in the divisional game, I believe, and Dallas scored to put them up with 30 or something seconds left. And I'm like, that's too much time. Aaron Rodgers has a chance. That's too much time. What does he do? He marches down the field. Also making the throw that is infamous. He was rolling to his left, so he had to throw across his body and threw a 30-yard strike right to the sideline. They put him out of bounds, where they ended up, hitting the game-winning field goal. The stuff this guy can do is it shouldn't be possible.
There's no doubt that he has the clutch gene. I'm not arguing that.
It's not even just the clutch. He's just what he can. Like I don't know if there's a better quarterback ever that can throw on the run like he can. Or that can roll out like he can, and obviously he's infamous for his Hail Marys and stuff like that, but the arm strength that he shows, I just think, again, give him a better team, better coach. Not like I said, Mike McCarthy's a good coach, but give him fucking Bill Belichick. This guy has, I would say at least as many Super Bowls as Brady. I really think, dude. Hey, you can say that all you want, but I'm telling you, give this guy a team. He is, in my opinion, he could go down as one of the greatest if he had a team around him. And I still think he can. I still think at the end of his career, I think we'll look at Aaron Rodgers and see the greatness, because the guy. It's not a hot take. I mean, all right, if you can think it's a hot take, but the guy is amazing.
It's okay, Tyler. This is the hot take game. We're all saying things that are wrong.
Right. right. That's no, good.
Okay. I'll finish off by saying that I do. It's hard for me to not be biased in this discussion as a Patriots fan, because I truly, and even outside of him being a Patriot, I think Brady is still the greatest of all time. I mean, even. He can hit anybody. It could be some 6-year-old. He'll hit that 6-year-old in the chest every time. But it's something to be said for Brady, because he changed the landscape of the Patriots in general when he came to town. Rodgers, right? This is kind of a good for him too, because he came in when Brett Favre was on the way out, right? So he came in. Brett Favre leaves. Aaron Rodgers takes over, and people were he was under Brett Favre's shadow and all that kind of stuff.
Did not mentor him, by the way.
Yeah, I know he didn't. I know he didn't mentor, but he was the face of the franchise for such a long time. It was weird to see anybody else go in there. So it's good that Aaron Rodgers has made his own name and not the guy after Brett Favre. But no, I completely. We've talked about Aaron Rodgers on the podcast before, and I've been with you on. He is a very, very, very talented man. Do I think he's the greatest of all time, or is he the greatest quarterback in football right now? Don't know.
I was gonna say, I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time. I still think Brady's the greatest of all time, but that's also awful.
Oh, you changing your hot take now?
I didn't say he was the greatest of all time. I said,
how do I put the hot take backwards?
In the NFL right now, I think he is the greatest on pure talent. I'm not saying over his career.
Heard. Yeah, gotcha.
Obviously, Brady is the greatest of all time because of the Super Bowl rings. But Super Bowl rings aside, which I know is a hard thing because it's rings. Like,
Well, you're just looking at individual talent as opposed to like
yeah,
how they work with the team.
yeah, essentially. That's what I'm. That's what I should have, or I guess when I was trying to say how I was trying to word my hot take. On talent alone, I think uh Aaron Rodgers is the best. So we'll move on because I don't want to put this too long. But yeah, that's my hot take. It's good to see that we've all disagreed on everything so far. That's good.
That's
So,
what I like to see.
we'll move on to either Brendy or Zach, depending on what random.org says. But
I don't think I've gone yet, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and go.
I mean,
I
it
haven't
doesn't.
gone yet either. Hope.
Brendy.
Okay, go ahead.
It's Brendy.
It's me.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna go away from the sports at least for this hot
Oh,
take.
okay. All right.
And we're gonna go to video games. So obviously,
Why do I feel like I'm just gonna start screaming in a second, Brendy? Don't let me scream.
all right. Well, let me hear it out, Bobby, Tyler, whatever.
Holy
it
shit!
is.
Talk.
All right. So Fortnite is a very popular game. Or like, it was like huge, especially during like season 3 and 4, during its prime, obviously.
Mhm.
And now with the release of Black Ops 4 Blackout, that's a pretty big success as well. So here's my hot take. Fortnite, Fortnite's done.
Go fuck yourself.
No, Fortnite's done. I don't see much more room for growth of Fortnite in its current state unless they do something drastic. The game is, at least personally, it's lost its entertainment value. And a lot of that could be said because like people in Fortnite are just like really good now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everyone has like a winning shot now. And I think with the popularity of Blackout, it's going to be I think it's going to be overtaken by Fortnite. Maybe not overtaken, but as time goes on, I feel like there's going to be other games to overtake Fortnite, and I think Fortnite's going to be eventually left in the shadows.
Well, I don't think that's really a hot take because that's every game ever.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
man.
but with Fortnite though, like Fortnite has been the game though, and I'm saying right now it's dead.
Back when we were in 8th grade, Black Ops 1 was the game that everyone was playing, and now that game is dead.
The reason that game is dead is because Call of Duty comes out every year, though.
Okay, so wait, what classifies a game as dead to you?
Me, if a significant amount of the community has moved on or stopped playing.
Because like I was gonna say, like you keep saying, like so you say it's the end of Fortnite, right? But like, so when was the last time anybody mentioned H1Z1, like the OG Battle Royale game? There are still regular players on that game, and they still are offering updates.
I think that's a dead game too.
Actually, I think it just came out of the final beta.
Yeah, and no one heard about it.
I mean, okay, so all right, let's say it is the end of Fortnite, which I disagree with, but I'll get to that in a second. So what happens to the game? Like, what do you believe happens to the game? Like, let's just say it is becoming more and more prevalent that Blackout is going to be the new BR, and Fortnite's going to go off the back burner. Like, what do you think happens to Fortnite? Like, what exactly? Like, just a decrease of players? Do you think Epic Games is going to just get rid of it? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
It's going to be like there's still probably going to be updates. The updates are going to come less often. The community is going to be a lot smaller, but it'll still be around.
Well, I mean, I think you're right about that, but I don't really feel like that's anything like unnatural or interesting. Just because games lose their hype eventually. That's the way it works.
I don't know, man. People are still doing speedruns of fucking Super Mario Bros.
Well, I mean, that's like a classic game right there. Like,
so I'll say my take real quick. Like, I agree. So I agree, but I'm also kind of on the same thing as Zach. Like, eventually games die, but maybe this should have been my hot take. I actually think like Fortnite's overrated. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I think it's gotten a lot of hype and a lot of people play it, but like,
You know what's funny though? It's not really a hot take because it has been publicly stated by a few streamers that they hate the game, but they have to play it because that's what everybody wants them to play.
I don't. I mean, look, it's a good
It's a free game.
but yeah,
It
I mean,
is, yeah.
Good free game.
Yeah,
that
it is
helps
a free
too.
game.
It's don't get me wrong, it's a good game. It's just like for months it was like that's the only game people played. Like I don't know. I mean, I just
Every meme was about Fortnite.
Okay, so I'm going to disagree with just from I guess a more business standpoint. Blackout is basically has a year life. There will be a new Call of Duty next year. Will it include a battle royale? Not sure. It would be stupid if they didn't include one. I don't know who's next for making the game.
Well, it's gonna be fucking trash because it's not gonna be Treyarch.
Right. So it's gotta be Infinity Ward or I forget who it is now. Or Sledgehammer. I don't know who. I forget. No, Sledgehammer did the last one.
It would be
Infinity Ward. So it's Infinity Ward start. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't have any numbers here, but and I haven't even played the game since beta, but Blackout is becoming the most popular game mode, even higher than regular multiplayer like Team Deathmatch, Domination, all those modes kind of stuff. But that game's only going to last a year, and the new Call of Duty will come out. And unless Infinity Ward does not include a battle royale, everyone's going to move away from Blackout. So it's really hard for me to see Blackout in this conversation. Fortnite was made with the intention of just keeping it updated throughout and keeping the lifespan for basically as long as Epic Games could sustain it. So it's hard for me to say and agree that Fortnite's going to die because of Blackout. Fortnite's going to die because of two reasons. One, they're tired of the game and the game mechanics itself. Two, a sequel gets made. Or even a third reason, I guess, another game that is built the way Fortnite was comes out and is better. And you've seen it already attempt to happen. What were the ones on Steam that came out? It was Royal something. What was it called? Realm Royale was supposed to be a competitor.
That was never supposed to be a competitor, though.
It turned into one. It never reached Fortnite's level, but a lot of people were going for it with the hopes that was the Fortnite killer. And that's what I feel like everybody does now. If there's a new Battle Royale game out, okay, is it better than Fortnite? Is it better than PUBG? Yeah, I don't think I can agree with you here. Just because and I played Blackout in the beta and loved it, and I definitely think once I actually get the game, that's what I'm going to be playing a lot. I don't think that's what the Fortnite killer is going to be. The Fortnite killer really is going to be the tired of the genre, whenever that will be.
Fortnite killer is going to be just time, dude. Like
it's going to be time, and it's going to be not that it's either that they're tired of Fortnite itself and they leave, like I said already, or people finally get their heads out of the battle royale genre as a whole, because that's what. And we've talked about this already. We've talked about how Battle Royale has just taken over the gaming scape, with everybody trying to make a Battle Royale now just because that's what's making money. At some point, that's going to die. At some point, that genre is going to die. And like I could see it from a Call of Duty stance, like not even being like its own game mode. It'll be something in multiplayer, and it'll be one of those playlists that has 600 people in it at some point down the line.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, so I don't know how soon that is. I'm not going to make that prediction because that would be very bold of me to do so, and I don't even have the numbers to back my statement up. But what is going to kill it is time. It's going to be what finally kills it. Epic Games would have to release some sort of sequel game like Fortnite 2 or something like that, that is a completely new game, or they just completely just trash the game altogether and just make something. But until Epic Games sees any slowdown or sees any initial actions of that happening, they're going to keep updating this game until the next millennia. So, yeah, I don't think I can agree with you on this one.
All right. Well, moving on to Zach, I guess.
Well, hold on. I had one thing to say.
All right.
Go ahead and say it then.
The floor is yours, my friend.
Excuse me, I don't know why my mic wasn't registering. With as big as Fortnite has gotten, gotta be like one of the most played games. I think they said they had over 1 million regular players every day.
Yep.
Won't surprise me.
And especially people like Ninja, who has let me look, he has millions of followers like on Instagram and Twitter, and like just he's like pretty much the biggest streamer ever.
Yep.
And it all happened in less than a year. I just want to point
And
this
it
out.
all happened because of Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, he's been streaming for years, for 6 years, I think he said, like 6
Right.
years of doing this stuff. And Fortnite came out, he played that, and then he became the biggest name in video game entertainment.
That's ridiculous, man.
It's insane. And you see him now; he's all over the place too.
And also, Fortnite is just such a different game than Blackout. Honestly, I
Yeah.
haven't played Blackout, but I can just say that because it's common sense.
Yeah.
It's just an entirely different game. Yes, they're both battle royales, but they both have their own appeal. So I don't think that Fortnite would die because of Blackout.
I don't know. I think I mean I don't know if you guys would agree, but I think already like I feel like as of now the late October, like I feel like it's even more like less relevant than it was even like over the summer. Like I don't know, like that's at least how I feel about Fortnite.
I will, at least for us, I would agree with that, just because
yeah, we
we all have more games to play now. We were all waiting on NHL 19 to come out.
Yeah.
We all play that instead now, because for a while it was, what did we play? We played Fortnite and what else?
NHL
NHL
18.
18.
Yeah, like
And
that's it.
then, yeah, maybe COD every once in a while, but not really in the past over the summer, especially.
So in that sense, yes, we did get burnt out on it because we were playing it every day, and that was the only game we were playing.
Right.
I mean, I think, with most video games being released in the fall, and now we have Red Dead that came out yesterday, and COD, and the sports games that came out.
Well, I guess technically today is the official release date for Red Dead.
Yeah, the
Yes.
26th. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it will eventually die, but I think it's just it's just going to be over time than anything. Like I said, I already thought it was kind of overrated anyway, but that's just my take. But
I want to disagree with one of Zach's points real quick. So Zach made the point that they're two completely different games, and so like Blackout and Fortnite are two different games. Yeah, it's true, but if we know anything from the video game world, it's mob mentality. So, obviously everyone has their preferences. Some people like the building mechanics in Fortnite, or some people just kind of like the war style battle royales like PUBG and Blackout. But what seems to happen is that, and especially for the people who are streamers, they kind of have to hop on the newest thing, right? So,
right, yeah.
They have so Fortnite, it's been the biggest thing, and they've been playing that, and they've been doing this and doing that with it. But as soon as Blackout comes out, if that has any hint of being the top battle royale, people are going to jump, because it's more so just either being the most popular, like being in the in crowd, or being left behind in the dust. That's what it seems to be. Because then it'll be like you're getting on, right? And you're like, I guess let's play Fortnite. Nah, we're gonna play Blackout, but I don't like Blackout. Well, I guess you're playing Fortnite by yourself. It's a kind of a mob mentality of the video game world. I don't like it, but that's kind of what you see, especially on the streaming side of things. But yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick.
And Zach, we'll move on to you. Give us your first hot take.
All right, so I'm going to bring it back to sports for this one.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, Zach with the sports hot take.
Yeah, it has another thing to do with sort of the hitting that's going on.
All right.
Bring it back to the NFL.
All right.
If they didn't use pads, it'd be safer.
Oh.
If they didn't use pads, it would be safer.
Wait a second. Hold on. A second.
If the players in the NFL did not use pads,
this is a legitimate thing. This is a legitimate argument.
That's a good point.
I laughed because I can't believe Zach, of all people, is the one that brought this up. That's why I laughed. This is actually okay. This is good.
All right, let's talk about it.
I started playing football in 6th grade, and I have to eventually just stop playing, so I didn't really like it for myself.
Yeah.
but sixth graders, 11, 12-year-olds, they were having us do hitting drills at that age. They were literally, I'm not kidding, they would literally line up like half and half players on each side, and you'd be given a number, and when they called your number, you had to charge at that person and hit them. Like, and that was a drill that they start you doing at a very young age. And I don't think. And the other thing I want to say is, I don't think these 300-pound men are going to be inclined to drill each other when they're not wearing armor.
Yep. Oh my god!
No, okay, so I've heard this argument before, and it does kind of make sense. My only thing is, there's always going to be that one guy, though. There's always going to be that one guy who is power hungry and just wants to drill somebody.
Who would that guy be in the league right now? Trying to think.
Jeez. Who was that?
Aaron Donald.
I mean, he's just a beast. So,
it's got to be somebody on defense, because those guys, they play defense because they like to hit.
Dominican Sue.
Oh yeah. Bobby got it. Akeem Talib. That's the one. Oh, we found it.
I would think so.
Well, yep. Or like Richard Sherman or something like that.
It's like, Richard Sherman's a pretty good player.
I mean, but he always just wants the attention. You know what I mean? Like he would do it just to get the attention.
Yeah, but he's nice about it.
This may be like another piping hot take. I'm not really sure, but
all right.
I mean, like, look at rugby, dude. Like,
yeah,
they hit and they don't wear pads and they don't have like injuries. Like, they don't have issues with head injuries,
which is insane, by the way.
Yeah, because you're not going to be if you're not wearing a fucking suit of armor, you're not going to be inclined to drill somebody.
Right.
Wow. Like I said, I'm happy that Zach brought this point up, because again, you know, this is actually something that is not that it's a debate, because it's never going to happen, quite frankly. I mean, at least I don't think, but like, it is
back
a good
to the leather
point.
helmets, boys.
But yeah, I mean, this is like it is true. Like, I guess also like you know, another point I guess we could bring up is not so much that a guy is inclined to hit somebody, but like, you know, I always thought, and maybe I'm in the wrong on this, but like, if you take like a helmet to the shin, like that's not covered, like that has to not feel good.
That is not good.
That is very not good.
That is my favorite video.
It is quite unpleasant.
But no, I mean, like, I think like also like, just as dumb as it sounds, like the equipment they're using it could literally hurt somebody.
I think it's making it more dangerous, honestly, because you're wearing a helmet, but if you clash heads with somebody, like, your head gets fucking rocked regardless.
You can beat someone to death with the helmet, man.
Yeah. So like, I mean, like I said, as dumb as it sounds, like literally equipment might be hurting players more than it's helping. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So this is actually, I think this might be a point we all agree on, which is
okay. So I agree. I'm always scared that there's always going to be one guy who does it. And my next question is for that point is, does football lose some of its entertainment value at that point? Because as much as the more quote unquote dirtier hits suck, and you know, you feel bad for everyone who gets in those type of collisions, the big clean hits are fun to watch. Like, so at that point you lose those hits. So does football lose some of its entertainment at that point?
It is. I'm just gonna bring up this point really quick, which you guys might agree. I don't know. Like, this is probably something that's never gonna happen.
Oh no, there's no chance, right?
Oh,
yeah.
But it's a good point to think about, just because I mean, I was gonna say part of, like, you know, the injury thing, you know, they wore leather helmets back in the day, but you know, what we know of injuries now and head injuries, I guess, yeah, it's never going to happen.
Right.
But yeah, I think Zach was going to say a point, so I'll let him talk, but yeah.
I forgot what it was, honestly.
That's good. No, we were saying about entertainment factor, like.
Right, yeah. I mean, they'd have to see how it goes. Obviously, Brendy's probably right. It's not going to happen anytime soon.
Right.
I mean, it's a very strategic game. So, I mean, yeah, you'd lose the big clean hits, but the players would be safer.
Yep.
And at what point are you okay with being entertained at someone's expense, I guess, is the question for the fans.
Well, that's the thing, because and this is something that I've racked my brain about for the past couple of years. And it's like, okay, so at what point do you focus more on player safety versus changing the fundamentals of the game in general? Because that's what everyone's afraid of, right? Everyone's afraid that they're going to go too far into the safety measures and, end up just changing the whole game of football as a whole. Which, if the NFL does stuff like that, you got to remember that will have some trickle-down effects. Because NCAA is probably going to have to adjust for similar reasons. High school ball programs are going to have to change for similar reasons. Because, that's the route. So you got to think about that if the NFL starts making changes like this, it will affect every other league, basically the world. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard for me to relate to any of these things because I have not played football, but I'm saying from a viewer perspective, I like the game of football. I like the hits, as long as I'm not completely killing somebody. I like the strategic side of the game. But I feel like at some point the players know they're getting into this violent game. I'm not saying they don't have the right to be protected, but I'm also saying that the injuries are going to happen, right? And they know this. If the players didn't want to suffer from these injuries, maybe football was not really the option they should have went. Like I said, I'm not saying don't protect the players. I'm just saying the game in its fundamental nature is violent. It's not like concussions don't happen in any other sport. So there needs to be a healthy balance of keeping the safety measures so that, you don't see guys with just traumatic brain injuries, especially after the career is over, as well as keeping the game mechanics that everybody knows and loves already.
It's definitely an interesting point. I will say that, but yeah.
I'll definitely agree with what Zach said that the hits won't happen. However, I don't know if I can agree that if that change ends up happening, which obviously there really is no chance of that happening. If that change happens, I think the NFL is in trouble from a business standpoint. I really do.
Yeah, that's why they would never do it.
They'll never do it. They are making way too much money to give up.
Right.
And I would be very interested to hear how the players would react to that. What if you went up to somebody like Odell or Tom Brady, or you went up to some of the defensive players, and said, "Hey, and tomorrow you could throw your pads away, where you're wearing your jersey, pants, cleats, and a leather helmet." What is their reaction to that? Do they like it? Do they not like it? Do they think the way we do? I would be very,
really
very, very curious.
Yeah, well, they would be confused, but there's no chance that they.
Yeah, their first answer would be, "Well, what the fuck?" And then the second would be, "Why?"
It would have to start like with the lower levels first, like it usually does. Like,
of course,
it would start with like fucking little rec league, and then work his way up to like high school and college.
I would I'm just curious what the players' thoughts would be. I'm sure they've heard the argument.
Yep.
People don't understand sometimes. The players hear everything, man.
Yeah.
They know how this works. They know what public opinion is like, especially in some of these younger guys coming up. They know how social media works. Like they hear you. I remember like Eric Blunt last season at some point was like, "Hey, just wanted to let you guys know I really don't care about your fantasy teams."
Yeah.
Something like that. Like they know. But this is something I would love to see their raw reaction to having to play like that. Are they for it? Are they against it? No different. What is their thoughts on the matter? So I'd be very curious to hear from the players on this one.
Yeah. All right, we're going to Sam Mortar back around. So Bobby, you can start again. What is your second?
Okay. I gotta pull up my notes here.
Lock and loaded.
So
by the way, before you say it, what it is, just what topic?
Well, so I have two that I'm deciding which one I want to do first. I have another football one. That I kind of got into a little bit already. At least I got into some of the ways, and I also have a hockey one.
Let's go hockey. I'll make the decision for you.
I will say that I already mentioned it in the Ovi over Crosby debate. I'm going Ovi. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say. I First of all, let me
Defend yourself.
let me get that out of the way first.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, let me defend myself. Okay, so I mean, I'm not going off. So here's the thing with me. I am not the stat calculator over here, right? I don't memorize stats that well. That's just me. So I'm going off watching numerous games over the years of these two guys play. I am a Flyers fan, and I will say that. And this is not Penn's bias. It hurts me in the chest a little bit, but I am comfortable saying that Crosby is one of, or if not the greatest of all time, future Hall of Famer, and truly a special player that I have had the privilege of watching play.
I bet that hurts to say, though.
I literally am holding a gun to my head while saying this right now. Ovechkin. I mean, no one denies that he's also on that same caliber, right? I'm not saying he's not some third liner I'm talking about here. Everyone knows Alexander Ovechkin.
Ovechkin deserved the cup, though.
Ovechkin deserved the cup, and I was rooting for him the entire time. I love this guy, man. I really do. I think first of all, he's a fantastic goal scorer with, I think, multiple 50-goal seasons, right? So he's obviously a great goal scorer, but he to me is like, he's one of those, he changed the landscape of the Capitals. And also, like, he's actually, and people don't give him enough credit for this, he is actually a great all-around player. He's not just a goal scorer. He's also a body. He is not afraid to get in and throw a hit. I mean, he's not dropping the gloves, and he shouldn't. But you see him playing the body. You see him playing aggressively. Whereas Crosby, you're seeing he's away from the scuffle almost all the time. I just think that if you're going to draft one of the two of them, you go with Ovi, because he's going to give you more than just goals and points. He's going to give you a top line, because he's going to fight for that puck. He's going to get the passes. He's going to get the shots. He's going to make the opportunities happen no matter what it takes to do. And it goes into the conversation that Tyler was starting with the Aaron Rodgers thing. It's not all about the accolades. Crosby has 3 cups. Ovi has 1. And it took Ovi forever to get this cup.
Yeah.
But the story around this whole Stanley Cup playoffs was around him getting his first cup. No, again, like I said, no one denies that he's one of the greats. But this has been a debate that I've seen for years. I've had arguments with some of our hockey friends from back home about this, and they've all said Crosby. And like I said, this is not. No one is going to believe me, but this is not Flyers fan bias. I'm telling you.
It kind of sounds again like the Aaron Rodgers Brady debate, where you're just looking at individual skill rather than amount of rings or whatever.
To me, in hockey, it's a bit of a different thing, right? Because of the game being constantly moving.
Right. Yeah.
Like, football's a little more strategic in that, like, okay, stop, think about it. Okay, throw. Okay, stop, that didn't work. Think about it, throw. Right? Hockey, like, adjusting on the fly, there's something to be said for it. I think Ovi on the ice, with the amount of things that he can adjust to, and how quick of a thinker he is, and the opportunities he can create with really anything. Like, he can just go out there with one arm and a stick that's shot in the other hand, and he'll be fine. Like, he's just that talented a player. That is my opinion on that matter. I open the floor.
So I'll start. And I'm not. I agree with one thing you said, and I want to put this out there. So Ovi, yes, he's a pure goal scorer, and that's what he's known for. But he does do stuff. But both players do more than I guess what people see or think they do. But as crazy as it sounds, because it's 2 hockey players, it's almost like you're comparing apples and oranges here. Just for the fact that Crosby is, like, I'm looking at their stats right now, their career stats. And this is like what I'm looking at is like a 1,000-point breakdown essentially. So, their first 1,000 points in the league. So Crosby had 368 goals and 632 assists, while Ovechkin had 545 goals and 455 assists. So what I'm saying with the apples and oranges thing is, like Ovechkin, again, he's a pure goal scorer. Crosby's more of like, I would say he's more of a playmaker.
Mhm.
And that's like my thing about it. Like I think, um, it's tough to compare just because, like I said, I think, in my opinion, like I think Ovechkin's one of the best pure goal scorers of all time. But Crosby again, that's not necessarily his thing. Obviously, he's going to score. But he's more of a setup man in this thing, and the passes he makes is what he's kind of known for, and the plays he can make, and his edge work is always one of the things that everybody gets about. Like he has great edge work behind the goal and stuff like that. So, like I said, it's tough to compare just because of they kind of do two different things.
Mhm.
Um, I mean,
So it is, but the names and every time they face each other, it's look at Ovechkin and Crosby, right?
yeah,
Like, and I do know it's comparing apples and oranges. I'm not blind to that fact because they are two kind of different players, but they're not different players in that they're considered greats. And at that point, no matter what, serious or casual hockey fan that you may be, it's always going to be the debate on these two, even if they are two completely different players because they're both on the same caliber.
yeah.
And think about what they've both done on each of their franchises when they got drafted.
Yeah,
you know,
both. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Penguins turned into the Warriors of the NHL.
Well, I was about to say, like, I mean, the reason that Crosby is on the Pens and Ovechkin's on the Caps is because before they got there, those teams sucked. Like the
Yeah.
Penguins actually were considering moving because they were so bad, and then they get
Right.
Malkin the year before, and then Crosby because they had Malkin was the second pick, and then they still sucked the year after and got the first pick and got Crosby. So,
Right.
yeah, they both both turned it around.
And hell, the
Like I said,
Capitals have been bad up until recently.
yeah, really. I mean, well, I think again, a lot of people are gonna, and I mean, to be fair, this is a big reason, obviously, but a lot of people, for any conversation you're ever gonna have, is going to bring up championships and playoff success, which Crosby has obviously had more of.
Yeah.
But you can't deny. I mean, Ovechkin, you're showing 50-point seasons. I think he had 160 goal season in there.
Yeah.
Um, no, I said 50-point. I meant 50 goal seasons. 60. I think he had a 160 in there, or maybe 260s in there. Like what this guy does scoring wise, he's one of the best. But
It's ridiculous. And
yeah,
like I said, I mean, I am not downplaying Crosby's skills in any way. He has been wrecking Philadelphia for years. It's been ridiculous. And I just, every time this debate would come up, and I've talked to somebody about it, they would always throw stats my way because I mean at the time maybe Crosby had more points or whatever, and it's like dude, go watch how they play. Don't throw stats at me. Go watch how these two guys play on their respective teams. Just go look at it. Like there are guys who maybe not get the points, but there's a reason they're on a team. Look at why Tom Wilson got a fucking extension on that goddamn team. They don't need him, but he has a role in the team that they like, and they're gonna keep him there for it. And he's not even on the team right now. He's fucking suspended. Yeah. But there's certain roles guys play. I think Ovi can play more than one over Crosby. Crosby can deke everybody out of their shoes, and score and pass and just be an offensive just beast. Ovechkin can kind of be the skull scorer, playmaker, but also kind of grinder with the way he fights against the boards of people. I admire the Renaissance man, especially since he does all of it the best. Like it's not like he's bad in one and really good on the other. Like he does it all, man. Like it's something to be said for his play style, and it's a play style I really like. So
yeah, I mean, thankfully, I've said this before, but we're very fortunate to be at the age we are because we kind of grew up watching.
Oh my God, the Sedins, Ovi, Crosby,
Malkin,
Marc-Andre Fleury, even.
Yeah, I like how we just named 3 Penguins.
Yeah, well, dude, they're a super team. I'm not like, I mean, Jesus. I mean, Henrik Lundqvist. Even I'll even say like,
yeah,
he's always been the Rangers.
I mean, obviously, every generation is going to have its talents, but
right.
I mean,
this is definitely one of the best.
being able to grow up in the era of Ovechkin and Crosby, and the battles they've had, and it's always a debate who's better. Literally every time they match up, they would be on the pregame show. Well, who's the better player? And it's like
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it is apples and oranges. But if we're really gonna sit down and talk about this, I mean, yes, stats are important, but looking at play styles and roles for these guys to fit on the ice, I think Ovi fits a lot more than Crosby does. That's just my thing on it.
it's hard for me to say. Like, if I had to pick one or the other, I don't know. I'd probably go. I don't know. I'd probably go Crosby, but it's tough. Yeah. I think they're close.
No, and I get it. I just, this is it's also me playing devil's advocate because everybody has said Crosby, and it's not like they're wrong. I'm not saying it's a right or wrong. I'm just saying from a personal standpoint, I like the kind of renaissance side of Ovi that he plays multiple roles when he's on that ice.
Well, I think a lot of people also say Crosby just for the championships too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's imagine those championships don't exist. Let's just say that these guys.
Yeah, but look how many fucking all-stars the Penguins have.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. That's the other part of it is that the Penguins became a super team. Over the past couple seasons. Man, I lost Marc-Andre Fleury, and it's like they lost a half of their franchise. It seems like, at least in my opinion, it's really weird. I mean, he carried Vegas, but Crosby is still light. I mean, he actually just scored his first goal of the season, which was strange. But I mean, he's still doing his thing. He's still, the face of the Penguins. Malkin's still doing good as well. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said. And I also want to point out, I mean, those, those who are now growing up, super hockey fans, you're going to see more players like Crosby in this next generation. I feel like, because I mean, look at, Connor McDavid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we grew up with that generation, but these guys are gonna grow up with McDavid, Matthews, Eichel, like those are like the main three. Line A, so we will move on, just because we're kind of running short on time. I will say mine now, Zach. This one is you're probably gonna have the most to say about this. It's pop culture related. It's rap related. Okay. I'm already prepared to get absolutely slewed for this, and to be quite frank, I probably should. Okay, I'm gonna put this out there now. It's just my opinion and what I feel. So, and this is kind of close to you and Brendy too, being from the Atlanta area. Atlanta has had a lot of great rappers. Like, it's almost like a factory of where really good rappers come out.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get fucking slewed for this. Now he's only had really two or three albums, but in my opinion, I think right now, I'm not saying like in the past, in the early 2000s or anything like that, but right now, the best rapper out of Atlanta, 21 Savage. You gonna yell at me now?
I mean, dude. That's all you got? 21 Savage? Like, dude, look, he's the one as far as the big rappers that came out of Atlanta, like the tier 1, tier 2 rappers. 21 Savage is the least creative out of all.
Well, it's also. I mean, like,
his music is catchy and entertaining. I will say that I do like 21 Savage. I don't hate him. But I think he's the least creative out of all the big rappers that came out of Atlanta. I mean,
is it also because he only has he only has the one prominent album? Is that why you would say that too?
I mean, no, he had some mixtapes before that were.
No, but I'm saying like everybody knows him because of the Issa album. So like,
yeah, no, dude, he was big because of Savage Mode.
Yeah, I mean if you were to ask somebody, just for, not a random person, but like somebody who knew him, like they would probably go to that album first. I at least like if they're not like a hardcore fan, I'd feel like they'd go there.
Well, I actually have had this conversation with 21 Savage with some of my friends already before.
I thought you were saying you talked to 21 Savage. Like, wait.
Oh, yeah. No.
We have exclusive reporting here as Zach Wieting meets with 21 Savage. Zach, take it away.
That'd be sick, though. Issa album is honestly his worst project, in my opinion.
Wow.
his worst
Hold
project.
on.
I think it was.
Wow, Zach with the hot take.
That's actually a big hot take. You muted
Wait.
this mic.
Oh, he's no, but like, so I'm looking at going back to my original points. I'm looking at rappers out of Atlanta, and look, there's some good ones. I'm not even gonna debate it.
Outcast.
I mean, back in the day, Akon. You
Young
got a little.
Jeezy? Was he from
Who?
Atlanta? Young Jeezy.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Jeezy?
yeah,
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 Jeezy
yeah,
is.
yeah, Jeezy is. Yeah. Lil Yachty. A lot of people like, obviously.
Zach, didn't we
He's hit or
The
miss,
boat.
man.
The
Like,
boat.
didn't me and you go to like a Lil Yachty halftime concert thing?
Yeah, I mean, we went to a Hawks game where Lil Yachty played at halftime.
Yeah.
Gucci
But
Mane,
honestly,
Quavo. Sorry, I'm just listing them off, but go ahead, yeah.
back to 21 Savage, dude. He had so many good mixtapes before that. He had one
Yeah.
he had one that was executive produced by Sunny Digital and Metro Boomin.
Mhm.
And it was called, I think it was called the Free Goo Up EP.
Yes, yeah.
And that
So-
thing, dude, if you think his album is his best project, like,
I'm not saying it's his best project. I'm
you
just
know, more
saying
drugs
that,
than he is.
I just feel like people. That's how people. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's where he got big, I guess. Like, obviously, I think, he had stuff before, but like when that came out, like a lot of people, like, I feel like, so you had those fans that obviously were there before. So when that album came out, they talked about that album. I think a lot of people flocked to him because of that album. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But like, to be honest, like, he's probably my favorite rapper. But like, I know that's a hot take as well. So
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't disagree that he does make entertaining music. I like some of his music. But here's
I
21
said
Savage.
21
Oh,
Savage
okay.
is probably my favorite rapper. Yeah.
But here's what sets him apart from the other rappers for me. If he was forced to sit down and write like an actually like take time to write like a good, like well put together, sounds good album, I don't think he could do it. Like something that's creative, something that's I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Just something that's like not just his lyrics are very plain.
Yeah, I can't even disagree there.
It's not that he's not catchy because he, like, again, I've said this multiple times, he does have some good songs that I enjoy listening to. But that's what sets him apart from like Lil Yachty or Future or Young Thug. I think if they've all had some bullshit projects. Like I think Lil Yachty's last project, it was called Teenage Emotions, so I thought it was pretty weak.
Yeah.
But then he came out with this new album and has some really, really good, creative, catchy tracks. So I think that if he was like someone like Lil Yachty, Future, or Thug, they could all write like top tier albums if they were forced to sit down and be creative rather than just like forcing projects out.
Right. Yeah. So I agree with you in the sense that maybe this is why I like him so much. I'm a sucker for like catchy music.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
So like 21 Savage's lyrics are like honestly pretty weak. But it's just he makes very catchy. Like I don't know, that's the thing for me. It's just very catchy. And his beats are good and his flow is in my opinion is good. So like I said, I brought up the whole Atlanta thing because there's a lot of good rappers out of Atlanta. Like some I didn't mention, like 2 Chainz is from there. Like, and by the way, number 2 on this list for me also might be a hot take is probably Kanye. I'm actually kind of a big Kanye fan.
He's from Chicago.
Kanye?
Yeah.
Maybe he is. I don't know why he's on this list then.
No,
but
he is born in Atlanta. He made
That's-
his residence.
Oh, he
in
was
Chicago,
born here,
though.
but he grew up in Chicago.
But that's what I'm saying. Like from rappers born there. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying.
Yep, born in Atlanta.
I'm saying like where he was born. Yeah. So, but that's a take.
I mean, I guess, but he didn't really like make his music career in Atlanta. So I don't.
Yeah.
From Atlanta.
Yeah, I guess like what I'm saying is like if they were born here kind of thing. Like this is the list I have, and I brought up this list, and it's a like
Well,
a
I
really
mean,
good list. So
Gucci Mane was born in Alabama, and he's considered an Atlanta rapper.
yeah, I know he's on this list. So which I was thinking the same thing.
So it's a very weird list.
Because it
Well,
literally
it's
says
rappers. It's rappers that made their music name in Atlanta.
right. No, I don't know. I think like I said, going back to 21, like I don't know, like I said, he's one of my favorite rappers, and like I said, his like it's probably that way just because, like I said, I'm a sucker for catchy music. Like, look, I appreciate music with a lot of meaning, like I guess meaningful lyrics. I don't know would be the right term, but it just that to me is more important, like being catchy and being something I actually like want to listen to.
Right, I do agree with you there. That music is more about having fun than having a meaning.
Right. So that's why I like him. But yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna get fucking slewed for this, like because I somebody actually I work with. I was like, yeah, my favorite rapper's probably 21 Savage, and I thought he was gonna hit me. I swear to God, man. Like, yeah, he was like, "Are you serious?"
Well, there's a lot of people that just don't like that type of music just because it's like degrading or it's
yeah,
not a lot of thoughts put into it or whatever other bullshit reason they may have.
It's
Just-
usually
right.
it's usually my issue with it, right? So I mean, I'm more of rock and metal oriented than anything else. I do enjoy some of like I loved Astro World when it came out, man.
Yeah.
But there are my problem just became that like those popular songs that we played over and over and over again were to me all about the same things. And at the end of the day, there really is nothing wrong with it. If that's the music you like, that's the music, right? I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day. I like songs with a little more substance than that, than what I hear most of the time. But it's catchy and it's good for a party and it's good for a good time. So it's hard for me to really hate on it anymore. But that's usually my issue with things like this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I go on. This is, we're gonna get off topic here, but fuck it.
Yeah.
I kind of go in swings with music. Like, I'm a big classic rock guy, so like I'll go on swings where I listen to that a lot. But then like I'll be like, damn, I'm kind of in the mood for rap, so like I'll like listen to that or like whatever. Like I kind of go on swings with stuff like that. So
That's
Yeah.
how I am too, man. I'm all over the board. Like I listen to
Yeah.
rap, electronic, like funk music, metal.
yeah, like I'm kind of all over the place. Like I would say my two favorite are probably classic rock, like 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s kind of, and then probably rap. But yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. But like I said, I'm a little surprised I only
But
like I
yeah,
didn't get
final
screwed
decision
like
here. I
thought.
gotta disagree. 21 Savage has to be like one of the lower tier rappers from Atlanta.
Okay.
Wow.
So who would you
I-
say is your favorite?
My personal favorite, who I think is the best.
Yeah. Who you think is the best?
I think out of Atlanta, I'd say Gucci Mane, like early 2000s Gucci Mane, not Gucci Mane now. Honestly,
Right.
Gucci Mane now, I'd say he's one of the lower tier rappers from Atlanta.
I was just about to say that.
I mean, he makes music for white people now, so
I don't know. Like I said,
I'm just saying. Before he just had that good, like genuine, like hood sound. Like, plus he had those crazy flows, man.
yeah. I like I said,
Personal favorite is early career Gucci Mane.
mhm.
But as far as who I think the best is right now, like right now, out of Atlanta,
I'm looking at this list right now too. I'm trying to like decide who else.
What's
I
the
would
list
have.
from?
I just have it up on actually Wikipedia, which is probably not the greatest site ever, but
I mean,
it's
dude,
just
I know so
Wikipedia.
many rappers from Atlanta, like ones that aren't even popular yet. So,
That
Yeah.
that's
so I
stuff
can
right
tell
there.
you, I can tell you who's coming up and everything.
That's the best. That's also the best thing. Like I love when like you kind of find somebody that nobody knows about, and like you kind of like go up with their career kind of thing. That's always like the
Oh,
best.
dude, I knew about Lil Yachty in February of 2016 when he was playing a local show
Mm.
opening for this group called Larry League.
Yeah, I think the first time the first time I heard of Lil Yachty was senior trip of my high school. It was April of 2016. randomly. That's the first time I heard of him. But I mean, he's all right, but like he's not my favorite. But anyway, I guess we can move on from that. But kind of mixing it up because we're all about sports and videos game here. I want to get some pop culture in there, but Brendy's up next, right? Yeah, Brendy's up next. So Brendy, you can take.
So we'll do one more. We'll do Brendy and Zach, and then we'll call it after that.
Yeah, we were gonna do 3, but of course with us we just ran too long on everything,
Yeah.
so we'll just keep it at 2.
All right. So going back to sports, so it's kind of a hot take, but also
that's the point.
So no. You let me finish.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's kind of it's kind of a hot take, but it's like kind of split into 2 parts. So like one part you guys are gonna say is hot, and then the other part one of you guys is probably gonna be really happy to hear. So obviously we made our NFL playoff standing or playoff predictions earlier in a podcast. Like I don't even know what episode, but
it was like one of our first ones, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously I would have to say our predictions right now are probably not going as planned.
Nope.
No.
So
why is Cincinnati still good? Don't know.
So I'm gonna make a few tweaks.
Okay.
I'm gonna have, and this is despite their record right now. I'm gonna say here's part 1. I'm gonna say that the Falcons, they're still gonna get in the playoffs as a wild card.
No.
Yep.
It's not happening.
And
no chance. Okay.
All right,
Dude, that is fucking that is piping hot, bro.
No. All right, part 2. Part 2.
All right, go ahead. As Bobby continues.
Part 2.
Go.
Part 2 is
go fuck yourself.
Coming from the AFC. I think the Broncos as well are also going to have a wild card spot.
That's fucking hot too. They suck, bro. Oh, fucking Broncos, man. They blow cock. All right. Look at this,
Brendy. Right. The Falcons may as well just put orange cones out there for their team. Like, no.
Like, all
right, Bobby. That's enough of that.
I'm gonna look at their
dude. The Falcons have one of the easier remaining schedules of the NFL right now.
Okay, you know what?
They play the Saints and the Packers. Those are the 2 hardest, but everyone else is very beatable.
Let's look at their schedule. So they are on a bye this week. Next week they play the Redskins, who are 4-2. Then they play the Browns, who they're 2-4-1. But the Browns, like, and maybe this is a hot take. I'm not saying they're a good team, but they're like one of the hardest teams to beat in the league right now. Like they've won to 4 overtime games. Like you can't beat them right away. You kind of get. I don't know. That's off topic.
Well, it's because they fucking finally decided maybe it's not another quarterback that they need.
Well, I mean, their defense has been a little bit better. So that's part of it. Anyway, so then we got the Cowboys, the Saints, the Ravens, the Packers. Saints, Ravens, Packers. That's gonna be a tough 3 weeks. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I kind of forgot what their record was, and
3-4.
Yeah, so they're 3-4, but for some reason I thought they were 2-5. That's why I was like, "There's no chance they're making the playoffs." 3-4. It's just the problem with them is the division they're in, man. They got the Saints.
That's why I said wild card.
No, I know, but like because they're gonna have to play the Saints and the Panthers again. That's gonna be the issue with them because they're just so good.
You could make an argument for about 10 teams in the NFC this season.
Oh yeah, the NFC has been much better. Well, I don't know. I feel like the NFC has been much better than the AFC. Like in past, the AFC just seems so top heavy. That's the problem.
And if you look at the NFC standings right now, you have your division leaders, but okay, so let's say you take them out and just assume they're gonna win the division. The only team with more wins than the Falcons right now is the Panthers.
Right.
Every other team has 3 or less.
Right. Yeah.
So why wouldn't the Falcons be able to make a wild card?
Yeah. So again, I kind of screwed up because I thought they were 2-5, but no, I mean it's not impossible. The problem with them is they cannot fucking stay healthy to save their life.
The
Like
bye week though has came at a good time.
that's true. However, I mean, you already lost fucking in the first week of the season. Keanu O'Neal tore his ACL. I don't even know, is Deion Jones back yet? Like, I don't even know if he's back yet.
Fuck, I don't even remember. I haven't had obviously because of work. I haven't had much time to
watch.
Yeah, so
Devonta Freeman's been out. I mean, they've been so beat up. Their kicker was hurt. So like,
which, by the way, the kicker they signed is a beast.
Yeah, he played for the Raiders last year, and then they cut him for some reason. But yeah, like, yeah, honestly, I think more of the hot take is the Broncos making the playoffs. And again, I'm a Broncos fan, but they fucking, I don't get them, man. So right off the bat, they're 3-4 as well, and they will be 3-5 after this week because they play the Chiefs in Kansas City. So
Okay, but that looks like that could be a trap game, easily.
it could be. However, it's the problem is the Chiefs are the highest scoring team in the league right now, and the Broncos defense has sucked this year. Well, let's look at their remaining schedule. So the Chiefs, they have the Chiefs, the Texans, Texans are quietly 5-3, by the way. They started off the season 0-3, I believe, at least. Then they got the Chargers, the Steelers, the Bengals. So the Bengals, if they continue to be good, so that's 4 tough games right there. Then you got the Bengals, 49ers, Browns, Raiders, Chargers. So like they have a few tough games right now. If they can, so say between the Chiefs, Texans, Chargers, and Steelers games, their next 4 weeks, say they can get 2 wins, I think they have a chance out of that. If they can get 2 out of those 4 wins and then kind of clean up the schedule how they should, they have a chance. But yeah, the Broncos, watching them is fucking.
They have to win a trap game though.
They have to be one of the
2 trap games probably.
Yeah, I think they have to play. Let me see where I think this Chargers game is away. It is.
I think they can. I think they can beat the Texans.
I think they can too. That game's also in Denver, so I think they could there.
Yeah. They could. The Chiefs. Obviously, it's not looking like a win, but I mean, like I said, could be a trap. Let's see. Broncos at Chargers. I consider that a toss-up.
I don't know. I know you're opposite of me. I'm high on the Chargers, so
I'm very low on them.
I mean, they are 5-2 right now.
Toss-up. I think the Broncos Bengals game, if the Bengals are still good, I think that could also be a trap.
I'm looking, I'm also trying to look where these games are because now you're getting into the point of the schedule where games matter where they are because of how cold it's going to start getting, especially Denver. We seen 2 weeks ago it was 23 degrees and snowing.
That's actually a good point though, because like I'm looking at the Broncos schedule right now. They do not have a game where they just play in terrible conditions.
Well,
obviously they'll probably play they'll play in Denver, but like the players are used to Denver weather, so like
also I think I mean this is good as a Broncos fan, but like I think they have a huge advantage just playing in the altitude they play in, just because they're so much used to it. Like I always thought they had like probably the biggest home field advantage in the league, just for the fact that like it's hard to get used to that altitude. So, I don't know. I mean, we're kind of going off sort of like on a tangent here, but
trying to prove my
I get it. I'm just as a Broncos fan watching them, I don't know, man. Like, let's look at the games they won. Like the first week against the Seahawks, who were still trying to figure it out. They barely got by the Raiders, who are probably the fucking worst team in the league right now.
That's so unfortunate too, because I was so high on the Raiders. I was like, okay,
I fucking remember. I fucking remember. I still was slewing you for that. Then they lost to the Ravens, who are actually a good team. They barely lost to the Chiefs. They got blown out by the Jets, lost to the Rams, and then blew out the Cardinals. So, I mean, you look at the results; they're actually not terrible, but I've seen the way they played, and it's very frustrating to watch. Their offense is still as bad as it was last year with Trevor Siemian being the quarterback. The defense has gotten worse.
Zach, do you have anything to add before we move on?
Yeah, we gotta get this.
Nothing that other than the fact that I think the Falcons are a team that likes to pretend to be good.
They've certainly showed that this season, at least.
It's crazy.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good at football.
Didn't they start 1-5, or am I crazy? Or not 1-5, 1-4.
Yeah, they started 1-4.
Okay.
And, so I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I guess.
Anything could happen.
I don't know. I guess if we're kind of going final decisions, damn, it's so hard with the Falcons. I think I'll disagree on both. I think the Falcons will narrowly miss, and I think the Broncos will miss by at least. I think they'll be at least 2 games out.
All right. Well, then we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll move on. Zach, finish it off with your last hot take.
I'm bringing it back to music.
Okay.
And you guys, I don't know if this is a hot take. You guys may or may not disagree with this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the rapper Drake is majorly overrated.
I agree.
and I will say I don't think he's a bad artist. He's honestly one of the reasons why he's big is because of proper marketing. He's gotten his name out there the right way. Obviously, his time on Degrassi helped him, get to where he is.
Yeah.
But as far as an artist, I think he's majorly overrated.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that one.
So explain, like what about him is overrated to you?
I mean, to me, this could just be an opinion. Everyone, and it's like I said, I don't think he's a bad artist. I just don't think that his music now, like he came out with "Take Care," which is a great album, and then it was just sort of nothing that great after that.
I'm looking up his albums real quick, but I don't know. I think like he's come out with some really good stuff. Also, like Drake was in that weird period for a while. Like I'm trying to think when it was, like a couple years ago. Like I don't know. Like he almost seemed like he was on the down. I'm not gonna say the down low. Like he just kind of I feel like he like resurrected his career like a couple years ago, and now he's back on top.
Yeah, I do want to make it clear that this is no hate on Drake. I'm just specifically talking about his music.
Yeah. So let's see. Man, like even like some of the stuff I don't know. I'm sort of a big Drake fan too, so I'm gonna disagree for sure. But "Take Care" was a good album. I think there was a few good songs on Views. I'm like,
dude, I thought Views is like, I did not think that was a good album.
I mean, it wasn't his best, that's for sure. Sorry, I'm like kind of talking and looking at the same time. That's why I'm struggling over here. I don't know. Like. So going back to your actual like take, I guess like you're saying he's overrated. Like, I guess that's.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be successful. He deserves to be a touring rapper that people listen. People like his music. He makes good music, but I think his music is overrated.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I guess
he is a tier 1 arena touring rapper, and I don't think his music is that good.
Right. I guess what I'm trying to say is like there's a difference between what I'm thinking, because you originally said I'm like I thought you were basically saying like he is overrated, but like you're basically saying his music is overrated.
Yeah, so, I'm talking about specifically his music, not him.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm a pretty big Drake fan, so like I like a lot of his stuff that probably a lot of people wouldn't necessarily like. I feel like he just has like he always on every album he ever has, and maybe this just goes with his name, but like he just has like that one or maybe even 2 songs that like just.
That's what I'm saying, man. He's not really an album artist. Like he can make hits, but he only has 1 or 2 of them on an album, and the rest of it is fillers.
Right. I mean, some of that I agree, but like I feel like that is like the case with a lot of rappers, though. Like.
Right. I mean, I'd say the same about 21 Savage.
That's also true. But like I mean it's also kind of an appreciation thing. Like I like like I'm just gonna go back to his album, of course, but like Bank Account is probably like the song everybody knows about. But like like that's probably not even close to like my favorite song on that album. Like Baby Girl is probably like my favorite song on the album. FaceTime is good. Not like Bad Business is good. Like I'm obviously just using that album as an example.
Getting off track a little bit. Honestly, I thought that album was like unlisten toable.
Oh my god, that is a hot take.
Yeah.
Unlisten toable.
I thought it was, dude.
That is a hot that might be the hottest take of this show. Nah, it's like I said, I mean I don't want to go back to it too much with 21 Savage, but it's kind of gonna tie into what I'm gonna say about Drake. Is like, I feel like people love to hate Drake. Sometimes like it's either like people love Drake or people love to hate Drake, and like I think it's almost the same thing with 21 Savage too. Like people either love his music or like love to hate him. So like maybe that goes with the territory of being a rapper and being a public figure. I guess that's the case for everybody, but
it's not them that I hate. I'm just talking about.
No,
again,
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying people. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But like, I don't know.
I mean, there's definitely people out there that will hate just because it's the popular thing to do, or their friends think it's cool or whatever. But like,
right?
You know, you don't have a good opinion just because you hate something that's popular.
So like, I guess what I'll agree with you on in the sense is like, I think a lot of people overhype Drake because of his songs, like the big hits that come out. But like, I think a lot of people like. Do I think his all of his albums, like all the songs on the album are good? No, but I think it's just kind of opinionated in the fact that it's an appreciate. Like if you actually listen to, everything, like every song on the album, like you might have like a better, like people might just say, oh yeah, he sucks because like he has one good hit, but like they don't have an appreciation. I guess is what I'm trying to say for the other songs. It's hard to explain, but. I think, like, do I think Drake is overrated? No, obviously, but like, I don't agree, but I don't disagree. I guess, like, I think, like I said, I like his stuff, but I can see why people would say, his music is overrated. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have an opinion. I don't know how much you Brendy and Bobby listen to Drake, but yeah, I think
I don't really have an opinion.
Yeah, I don't really. So, I mean, I've never really listened to like any of his full albums, but he's definitely a hits artist. There's always a slapper that comes along with everything that he does. So, we'll say that much. Yeah. But I don't know enough about both of them from an album standpoint. I'm usually a pretty big album listener. And again, I just haven't sat down and actually listened to their albums.
I'm not even saying he's a bad artist. I'm just saying he doesn't. Yeah. I don't think his music is so good that he should be like an arena touring artist.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, yeah, I mean I think that's a arguable point. Yeah, so, I don't know. I like how we expanded to a little bit of music though, because I think we all have an appreciation for it. So
who has the hottest take?
Oh yeah, word for the hottest take. I think Brendy.
With the Falcons.
With the Falcons, the Broncos, yeah.
Well, I made some good points about the Falcons.
You made some good points. Yes, I will agree. But I think that's the hottest take.
I was going to say I kind of ran the table. Jesus, I can't talk with the Broncos. But hottest, I don't know. Honestly, like. I feel like you guys argued me the most with the Aaron Rodgers one.
Yeah, that was.
I think that was the most argued one. I don't know.
The Hot Take Awards. They are at CPN.
Dude, I thought your 21 Savage take was pretty hot, honestly.
That's why.
That's just me, though. That's me.
I knew that one was gonna pertain to you because I know me and you listen to rap a lot more than they do, so that's why I knew specifically it was going to kind of pertain to you, but I can see why that would be hot. Like I said, I know a lot of people are not as high on 21 Savage as I am, but anyway, that is going to wrap up that. We will finish off the show with we'll actually get Zach's thought of the week if he has one. No, he does not have a thought. That's fine. We should
have screened them beforehand.
We should have. I mean, you know what? we kind of all had our own thought of the week this week because this is a very opinionated podcast, so that's fine. But we're gonna finish up the show quickly.
I almost dropped my camera. That would have sucked.
With our Week 8 NFL predictions. We have some good matchups this week, finally. And we have 3 games here. So the games we're going to look at is the Philadelphia-Jacksonville game, which is being held in London at Wembley Stadium, I believe. The second game is the Green Bay versus undefeated Rams game. And then the third one is a Sunday Night Football game, which is the Saints versus the Vikings. Bobby, I will start with you as I usually do. Let's get your score and winner for the Philadelphia-Jacksonville game.
So, and I have a sneeze coming, so I'm sorry if that comes out in the middle of me talking. But so Philadelphia has just not been able to hack it recently, man, and I really don't know what to really point the finger at right now. And neither is Jacksonville. They have no business getting blown out by the Cowboys of all teams, especially since how high I was on them when we were doing our season preview.
Fucking Cowboys.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. We talked about it, so Jacksonville always seems to go to London. They always seem to do very well in London. I think if anyone's going to turn up this game, it's going to be Jacksonville. So I have Jacksonville winning this game 27-14.
All right, Brendy, what's your take on this game?
So I it's funny you mentioned that because one of the things that kind of intrigues me about this game is that both teams came into the season with very high expectations, and both have been very well below expectations. And I think we can all agree that the Jaguars, their second home is basically London, and so they have a home field advantage. So I definitely don't really see a scenario of the Eagles pulling it off. I think Jacksonville is gonna. I think Jacksonville's going to appear to show their dominance this game. So I have them winning. I have Jacksonville winning 30-17.
All right, and as for my take on this game, part of this was kind of going contrary to what everybody's thinking. I actually have Philly winning this game. I know Jackson is very well documented that Jacksonville is very good. Well, first of all, they play a lot of London games and also very good in those London games. But that's the thing for me. I almost feel like it's a trap that we're talking about that. Jacksonville has been awful this year. Their defense has not lived up to what we thought it was going to be, and also Blake Bortles is as good as a high school quarterback. Also, they have not had Leonard Fournette the whole year, so it's been tough on them. He's going to still be out for this game. It's as both of them said, these are 2 teams that if you it's what week 8, if you would have thought their records at this point were I think they're both 3 and 4, I would have thought you were crazy. Eagles coming off the Super Bowl, Jacksonville with the defense they have, but here we are. But I don't know. Like I said, I have Philly, and partially it's just because, like I said, I think a lot of people are going to be on Jacksonville. So I'm going to take Philly 27-21. The next game we have is the undefeated Rams against Aaron Rodgers, as talked about before, and the Packers. Bobby, let's get your prediction on this game.
Oh, man. Okay. So, I mean, we hyped up Aaron Rodgers earlier in this episode.
I hyped up Aaron Rodgers.
God damn, the Rams have been nothing short of just spectacular this season. I mean, they're a fun to watch team, gotta say. Especially since I have Todd Gurley in 2 leagues. So their we talked about Green Bay's defense. It's abysmal. Let's be honest. So Gurley's going to be able to just kind of tear him a new one. So I have the Rams running away with this one, 28-10. Aaron Rodgers will probably get a good run and probably quite a few passing yards. But I don't think he's going to be able to turn up against this team. Not right now, anyway.
Yeah. So I also I'm just going to be legit. I'm not high on Green Bay, at least this season. And the Rams have really looked. The Rams have looked like a whole nother team compared to how they were just a couple seasons ago. And I see that trend continuing. I think I don't really think it's going to be a close game, but at least for the most part, I think Aaron Rodgers though is going to. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to try to make a comeback and like try to make the score at least look a little bit more respectable. Which is why I have the Rams winning 28-20. With that said, I don't necessarily see it as a close game, so I'll have the Rams taking the victory there.
And I will continue the trend. I have the Rams winning this one 34-28. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game just for the fact that I could see the Rams getting out to an early lead. And Rodgers is going to have to throw from behind. Like, I could honestly see this as one of those games where Rodgers throws for 350 yards in a loss, just because that seems to be the trend. Like I talked about their defense earlier. Their defense already sucks, and they're still banged up. I think I talked about this last time we talked about the Packers. Like, their defense has been really banged up this year on an already bad defense. So they got, third and fourth stringers playing over guys that already suck. So, yeah, I think this will be a high scoring game just for the fact that Aaron Rodgers will will his way to 28 points and LA will put up enough to beat them, which seems to be the story of Aaron Rodgers' career. But anyway, we'll move on to the Sunday Night Football game, the rematch of last year's NFC divisional game, which was crazy. We all know what happened. Fucking Denver Broncos legend Case Keenum back there with the Minnesota Vikings and hit Stephon Diggs in the last seconds of the game to win it. But Bobby, what is your prediction for this game?
Oh, I'm actually hyped for this game. I really hope it lives up to the hype. I have Minnesota taking this one again, but I have it in a pretty big barn burner, and I would even go as far as saying maybe even a game-winning field goal in the works. I got 31-28, but both teams have been putting up the numbers this season. I definitely think there's some heat from last year, so we might see a bit of a grindy type game, which I'm hoping for. And I think it's going to be just an all-out shootout until the very end. So I got Minnesota winning 31-28.
All right, and so I have this kind of like as battle of the defenses. I know both defenses, like, they're not really the best, but there are certain types of matchups where I think defense just they prevail over everything, and I think this is going to be one of those matchups. And I think the Vikings are going to have a little bit of an advantage here. There's not really much I have to say about this game. I think it'll be close throughout, but I have Minnesota winning 20-14 against the Saints.
And I'll wrap it up by saying I do have Minnesota winning as well, 31-23. So we've talked about this before as well. The Saints defense has not been as advertised to start the year. They were one of the better defenses last year, and they have been awful. I think they're probably like top 10 worst defense in the league this year, stats wise. I would have to look that up, but I would imagine just because I have them on my fantasy team, and I can tell you they suck. I think this is a game Kirk Cousins can have a big game on. There's still Dalvin Cook has been injured the past few weeks, and I think he's been bothered with a hamstring injury. He's been a game time decision for the last few weeks and has not played. It'll be interesting to see if he plays this week. I don't know if he's been ruled out already or not. I don't know. We were recording on the Friday before the game, so I'm sure news will come out before. But yeah, I think Kirk Cousins has a big game here. It's been interesting with the Saints offense since Ingram has come back. Kamara has not been getting the touches that he was before, which is obviously going to be part of the thing when you have Ingram come back. But Kamara is one of those guys to me who's just a difference maker. So I think they got to start giving him more touches again. But yeah, like I said, I have Minnesota winning 31-23. By the way, a quick note. Last episode, we did our prediction. It was just me and Bobby, and we went 1-2. So we're still going to count it. Brendon didn't make his prediction, but he has kindly said that we can keep our prediction. He'll just take the L for the week. But we did not do much catching up doing it. The standings after last week read as following: I have 11, Brendy has 11, and Bobby has 10. So it's been close throughout.
Last place as usual.
I'm
Shut the fuck.
Yeah, Bobby was closer because for his let's see what it was. Oh, he had the Baltimore Saints game as being 21-17, and for like there was 2 minutes left in the game, and that was the score. So I was like, damn, he's gonna get an extra point here. But he it didn't end up going that way. But yeah, I think it's gonna come down to one of us getting the right score right to see who's gonna win this. But anyway, as we were advertising before, Zach thought a week. He said he didn't have one. Well, he's back. He's got one. He was thinking.
I remembered it. I like to think of my. First of all, I want to mention that I like to think of my thoughts of the week when I'm laying down and going to bed, which is a terrible idea.
That's the best time.
I'll remember it in the morning. Yeah, whatever.
Or like when you're taking a shower.
I mean,
that's when you get the best, like, most weird thoughts.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm bringing this one up, and this is something that I actually have asked Brendy in the past. I'm pretty sure he actually asked me this one, so I'm just going to revive it. Would you rather not be able to tell a bear from an Xbox,
I definitely asked that,
or change genders every time you sneeze?
Oh no,
dude! You have no, like, and when it becomes to like telling a bear from an Xbox, you have like no like discernible abilities. Like, you walk into your living room, you're like, oh, why the fuck is there a grizzly bear in here?
And like you go in the woods and you see a grizzly bear.
Yeah, you're like on a hiking trip, and you're like, that's a weird. Yeah, you're on a hiking trip, you're like, that's a weird place for an Xbox.
What the hell? Oh, I love this segment. I love this segment so much.
Oh my god, it's like, okay, so.
Or change genders every time you sneeze.
Now let's weigh our options here, right? You know, I got allergies. I sneeze all the fucking time. I'll be a girl 1 second and a guy another second. And I'll sneeze like 3 times in a row and change my gender 3 times.
You must be very fun at a bar, I gotta say. You're hitting on some woman at the bar and you're just like you sneeze and it's like, hi.
Tyler, I have a question.
What's your question?
If you sneezed and became a girl, would we bang?
I mean, listen, man, he's coming to New Jersey next month.
I don't know, dude. I'd probably do the bear. Not be able to tell a bear from.
But like, so like,
probably would too.
It'd just be way too inconvenient, man.
Yeah.
But like, you're asking that question, so like, I'm assuming like if you can't tell the difference, like there can be danger because like if you're trying to play Xbox and it's a bear, like, is that what you're trying to say, or you just literally can't tell and like it does nothing for you?
You just have to guess. Like, you just have to, like, when you go in your living room, hope that it's not actually a bear.
And like,
So, like, if it is a bear.
I assume every time like you walk into your living room, like you're gonna forget.
Yeah.
But
Right.
like, if it is a bear, like, will it attack you?
It's a fucking bear.
I mean, it's a bear. It might.
Well, that's what I'm at. Like, I'm okay. So yeah, I would just change genders then in that case.
Damn.
So the chances that a bear is actually in your living room is very low, but as soon as you see it, you just lose all like discerning abilities.
Yeah, and you forget about it every time.
I mean, he would imagine him trying to hunt, right? He's like, oh, I see a fox down there. Like, it's in the scope and everything. Like, you cannot possibly hunt with that kind of. For the gender thing, you know what I'm thinking about? It would be weird if you're peeing. Like, in the middle of peeing, you sneeze.
Like, you're standing up taking a piss at the urinal.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, god damn it.
Oh, now I'm in the wrong bathroom.
Oh yeah, you're in the public bathroom? Oh my god.
I would
No.
my nose and my mouth every time I went to pee.
You have to go to the stall every time.
Look at the
just in
light. Look at the
case.
light.
Oh yeah,
Man, you better hope that there's a family restroom or all gender restroom or something nearby, man. You have to go to those every single time. Otherwise, it's a dart throw at that point, whether or not you're gonna get out of there alive.
Jesus.
I don't know.
What are the tallies?
I'm
going with the Xbox One.
Yeah, I'm going with the bear and Xbox.
I'm gonna go with the Xbox.
Of course, and I'm going the opposite as it always happens.
You're wrong. You're wrong, and you should feel bad.
So we're all going for the bear and Xbox.
Yeah, we got 3-1. 3-1 final tally.
I love that. I do love the segment though, as random as that was. It was a good question. All right, we're gonna wrap up the show here. It was a good episode. I think for not having any news this week, I think we made do and had.
We did. It was definitely very entertaining.
This was a fun time. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was like a lot of these videos are very fun to record. So yeah, happy about that. We have a lot of projects in the works right now. We're still trying to iron stuff out in terms of what's going to come out. So I'm not even
saying this since episode 6.
I know. I really have, but we're trying to get our shit together.
We know.
You're gonna have to deal with us through this time. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff planned. Gonna do as I always do, some housekeeping here. If you would like to follow for updates on us, Brendy is very active on our Twitter. You can follow us at Complay Network on
Cue
Twitter.
the sound bit, Bobby.
Yeah. Cue our new sound bit. Let's go.
Oh. Okay. All right. So this would have appeared in episode 10. So, but I of course had to isolate this. So, Zach, if you would like to take it away and end the show for us.
Smash that motherfucking like button.
But that is all from us. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And as we said last episode, we are now on Spotify and Google Play. Google Play, right? I'm not tripping.
Yeah,
okay,
we're on a bunch. Most notably Spotify, Google Play, and Stitcher. Haven't heard back from Apple, so let's try to figure that out.
Okay. But good stuff. And we will be back next week for episode 12. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next week.